Hi, my name is Daniel Asari, and this week we are back again to continue our studies. This week, actually, I'm here to add a couple of AD, that is Active Directory objects, to the Active Directory that was set up last week. Last week we had to elevate the server from being just a normal server to a domain controller, and this week I'm going to be adding users and organizational units as well to my ADDS. Now I want to start off today with going to the tools, and then from the tools I will click on Active Directory users and computers. Now this tool in here is supposed to help me create my users, my groups, my organizational units, and even many others, or any other stuff that I want to be creating within my Active Directory. So I have the users and groups, I have the Active Directory users and computers open, and as I said earlier on, from here we have the default containers. First of all, we have the built-in, which has to do with the built-in groups, and then also we have the built-in computers, or we have computers, which is the default organizational unit container. We also have the domain controller for security principles. Then we have managed services, and then the users. So I'll first of all start off with my units first, that is the OUs first, which I'm going to right click so I'm going to select my domain, and from my domain I'm going to right click to start creating my organizational unit, and I'll scroll down to new, and from new I'm going to select organizational unit. Now I need about 8 of it, so I'm going to quickly run through creating them. The first one is supposed to be employees, so employees. I'll go ahead and click OK. So I have here protect container from accidental deletion. This protects the container from being deleted, and it is not that containers cannot be deleted, or organizational unit containers can be deleted, or objects can be deleted, but this makes sure that it is not deleted accidentally, which means that if a container needs to be deleted, there is a process we have to go through to get a container deleted. This is to make sure that you are very sure, you're very much aware of what you're doing before you go ahead to do it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and then click OK. So I have my first container, employees. I would want to go back to my domain, and then right click in an empty space of my domain and go ahead to new, and I'm going to start off with the second one, which is supposed to be HR. I'll hit OK, and I'm going to be following the same procedure till I'm done with all of the 8. So the next one is IT. The next one that I have to create is management. So management. next one is going to be research. I think the name is right. Okay. Research. The next is going to be stakeholders. And the next, which is the last but one, accounting. Then we go for the last one. That's supposed to be audit. So new organizational unit, audit. Sorry, auditors rather. Auditors with an S. Hit enter. And so all of my units have been created. Employees, HR, IT, management, research, stakeholders, accounting, and finally auditors. So when I go to my domain, I should have my default containers above, and then my containers that I just created, which has to do with the organizational unit, are also beneath. Now the next that I have to do is to create my users and then add them to specific containers or specific units. Now this can be done in a couple of ways, in two ways, as known to me currently. First of all, I'm going to be having, we can actually have it done using the users, where I go to the users, create a user, just like we created a organizational unit, open or click on the users container, right click, and then from there I can start off a new object, and I want to create a user. In the creation of the user, once I'm done, I could actually modify the properties of the user, where I could change the user to be assigned to a particular group and so on. Alright. Then we can also have the user created and then also be created inside the organizational unit, which means that I could just go to the particular organizational unit, and then any user that is supposed to be part of it is created and added. It is added to the unit right away. So that is the two ways that is known to me, and I'm going to be actually approaching the second method that I just spoke about, where I'll be opening my organizational unit, and according to the unit and the required user, I'm going to be creating them into it. So first of all, it's going to be Sarah on the list, who is supposed to be HR. So I'll go to the HR organizational unit, right click in there, and then what I'm going to do is start off a new and choose user. So first name is going to be Sarah. Sarah has no last name according to the names given me, so I think I'm going to skip on that, and the username is going to be Sarah. Alright, and her username, that's for the login, would be Sarah at ensign.corp, and that is how she's going to log in. I'm going to click next to assign a password for her, and I'm going to be using one password, and then also make sure she can change on the next login. So that is going to be PA $, for the password, so that I don't forget. That's why I keep mentioning the password. So that's going to be $0, and then that's my password, and I'm going to leave it to be user machine password at next logon, so that she will be able to change her password, so that the administrator or the IT personnel does not have access to that. I will go on and then click on next and then finish, and I have my user created. Alright, so the next is going to be research. So I go to the research container or the research unit, and I have Ted and Phil in that unit. So I'm going to be creating my 2 users. And this is going to be Ted with a username Ted at ensign.cop, and that would be just it. I'll go ahead and then next, and then password is going to be the same password. So that they can all change their password once they log in. Next, and then I'll finish it up. So I need another one for this unit, and that's going to be Phil. So user and this will be PHIL for Phil. His user is going to be PHIL ensign, and I will hit next. His password is going to follow the same as Sarah. And Ted. They should all be able to change their password in the next level. Now, we have some buttons up here which can also help us create some of these objects that we have under the Active Directory. Some of these include the new user, also the groups, then we have the organizational unit. So in my next units that I'm supposed to be creating users, I'm actually going to be using these to help create the users as quickly as possible, instead of me doing the right click and the right click. So I'll move on to the next, which is supposed to be IT, and that is the motor. That's a strange name. Okay, so I would go ahead, and then he belongs to IT, so I'll go to IT, and I just click on the create user in the container, and this is going to give me access to want to start off with the creation of my user. And I'll go ahead to assign his user logins. Alright, I'll click next, and then we have his password assigned to him. go ahead and click next. Says password do not match. Next. Alright, so I have my user for IT. The next container is going to be management, and that is going to be Jenin, Frank, and Pearl. So I'll go to the management container, and alright, so from the management I'm going to go ahead and click on new user. Now I have 3 users for this container, so starting off with Jenin. Jenin. Go ahead and click next. Put in the password. Next. Finish. Add the second user, that is supposed to be Frank. And his username would also be frank@ensign.com. Click on next. And the last one is going to be Pearl. My next is going to be stakeholders, so I'll go to the stakeholders. That also has 3 users, starting with Spencer. Forgot to enter the password. And this will be team. And the last one is going to be Dean. With his username Dean@ensign.com. I hit the next and add his password. I ran into an error. I think it was telling me password cannot be set for Dean. I think I'm going to take that again. So I'm creating Dean again. It's amazing how I've been using the same password for all of them, and that turns out to be an error. So this will be dean at ensign.corp. Next. Right. So we have that done. The last two groups that I have is auditors and accountant, and in each I have two. So I'm going to go to auditors first, and I'm going to add my users, and that is going to be Sally, password, so next, and then next is Bruce. So we got Bruce in, put his username, hit next. So we're done. And then accounting, we have Steven and Guy. So we'll start off with Steven. Steven. And then the next one, which is the last, is Guy. Add a user logo name, and that will be Guy at ensign.corp. Same password. So Guy can change his password on the next logo. Hit next to finish it up. Okay, so all of my users have been created and have been added to accounts. Now, earlier when I started off and I said that we can assign users to containers or to units, sorry, by either creating them directly into the specific units that you want them to belong to. That is what I just did. Or you could create them, for instance, like from the users group. I can start off by creating a new user. It's a user, and maybe D_L, and then D.L at ensign.corp. That is going to be for the user logon name. I'll go ahead next. I'll put my password. And it goes on. Alright, so it's done. Now, if I want this user to actually be added to any of my units that I have, I can simply move the user to this specific unit. So all I have to do is right click on the user, and then I go to all tags. Okay, so I have move here and then also move there, which any of them is supposed to help me fix that. So I could simply just click on move, and I'm being asked into which unit or container would I want to be moving the object, the user object, and I can say, okay, I want to move this to IT. Select my IT and click OK, and it is done. We go into IT, we should find our user added in there. Now, since this isn't part of the users that I'm supposed to be creating, I just want to get rid of that very quickly. So click on delete, and our user is gone. Alright, so I need some other folders to be created on my desktop, so I'll quickly minimize my Active Directory users and organizational unit window, and then also my Windows Server Management Console. I'll minimize that, and on my desktop I'm going to be creating a folder, and I'm going to name this the Promised Land. Yes, Promise Land. So I have my folder, and in this folder I need to create the other folders that I created in my organization, in my Active Directory. So I'm going to open this folder, and very quickly I'll be using a shortcut to get my folders created. That will be Ctrl+Shift+N to quickly create my folders, and then I'll just add the names: employees. I'll go ahead and create the next folder. That'll be HR. The next IT. The next would be research. And the next is going to be accounting. Then we have stakeholders. Then finally auditors. Now the last part of this particular assignment is for me to assign NTFS permissions to users pertaining to their folders or the organizational units that were created. The users have been created on this same system, that's a server, and I have the accounts on the system. So what I'm going to do now is start off with the first user account, which has to do with Sarah, and she belongs to the HR organizational unit, or the HR unit. So double click to open, or I can also just right click, whichever way it is, to get the properties for the container. And then I go ahead to share to security, and then from the security I will go to edit, and then I will need to add a user account. So I'm going to go to add, and I'm going to type in Sarah. Now if I'm not so sure, I could click on check name to make sure it checks if the name actually exists, and yes, the name exists on the system. So I will go ahead and click OK. Now since Sarah has been added, Sarah is supposed to have full control over the HR folder. So I'll go ahead and click on full control and click on apply, and it is done, and Sarah has full control over the container, or the unit, the HR unit, or the HR folder. I'll go ahead and then create the specific permissions for the other folders as well. So the next has to do with Ted and Phil get modify for the research folder. So I would quickly right click on the research folder, properties, security, and I'm going to add and this time, since I'm adding 2, it's going to be third. I'll go ahead, and third has been added. I'll add again, and this will be fill. I'll click OK, and I think I'll go ahead to want to click on modify, because that is what you're supposed to be having for their permissions. Apply and OK, and I'll close this off. My next is the IT. Right click, properties, and security, and from here I would want to edit, add my users, and that will be Motal. As I said, this name is best strange to me. Now he gets full control for the IT folder. So I'll go ahead and click on apply, OK, and close this off. The next is going to be the stakeholders. So right click stakeholders, properties, and then security, then edit, add, and for that I have 3 names, and that has to do with Spencer, check for the name to be sure, click OK, add again, and that will be team, and add the last one, and that is going to be Dean, and they'll have to be modified. I'll go ahead and apply and hit OK, and close off properties window, and the next will be Gene, Frank, and Pearl for management. So, well, I think I didn't create my folder for management. I'll go ahead and create my folder. I think I missed out on that. So very quickly, I'll go into the management folder. Sorry, just right click the management folder. Don't have to be in it to do that. Alright, so properties, and then from the property security, then edit and add, and we have Jenin, and we have Frank, and then the last one is Pearl. Select each and every one of them and modify. Sorry, these ones have to be having only read and write, so they don't get execution. Less folders, they will get read and write. So select Jane, also only read and write. Then last one is Pearl. Let's read, write, and then the rest goes off. When I'm done, apply. Checking all of them out. You're good. Okay, I'll close off permissions for this. My next stop is the auditors. Whoa, I also made a mistake with my auditors. I'm going to rename it. Give it a proper name. Rename. And I think I missed out on the U somewhere here. That's nice. Right click and then choose my properties, security, and click on edit, add, and that is going to be Sally and Bruce, who are supposed to have full control over the auditors folder. So Sally and then Bruce, and full control for Bruce, full control for Sally, and then apply. And then I have my last one, close this and close that. The last one is going to be the accountant, which is supposed to be Stephen and Guy. So right click, properties, security, and then edit. Go ahead to add, and supposed to add Stephen, and then also Guy. These are our last two, and they get full or they get modified permissions. So apply and okay, close up this, and it is all set and done. Thank you.